Okay, look now at some of the French press. We've got Nick Rushworth here with the press review. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Georgia.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a look at the French papers.
I'm going to start out with Libération, the left-wing daily, which has a picture of Barack Obama. There you can see him and the headline, Quitte ou double, and that translates as double or quit. So can Obama get a double term, or is he out of the picture? Now, the paper is there saying that the crazy hope that we all saw in 2008 has given way to doubt. The editorial in Libération today is saying that Obama's America and Romney's America are irreconcilable and antagonistic. And there are harsh words for Obama in this editorial. Remember, this is a left-wing daily. It should be on his side, but it's saying that Obama has failed to defend his record and he has failed to sell his version of the American dream this time around.
Okay, and in Le Figaro, it's looking at how the US election is making big news worldwide.
Well, all the capitals around the world are following this, people around the world are following, and Le Figaro has one page devoted to various world capitals. It looks at Paris, of course, Beijing and Moscow, among others. And now its conclusions about Paris is that François Hollande here will want Obama to get a second term, of course, and for him to find a solution to the fiscal cliff crisis that looms. For Le Figaro, the Beijing correspondent is saying that Chinese leaders do not feel that there will be fundamental changes whoever wins. I was quite surprised by that. The mood in Moscow, according to the Le Figaro correspondent, is that, yes, Obama has to get the win, but only grudgingly. Of course, you've got to remember that Mitt Romney came out and said the Russians were the biggest threat to the United States at the moment. That was at one point during the campaign. And the correspondent of Le Figaro from Moscow is saying that there's a wave of anti-Americanism in Moscow at the moment.
Okay, now another story being looked up by the French papers is Nicolas Sarkozy and a story that during his term as French president was dogging him quite a bit, and it's back to bite him.
Well, there you can see a picture of Nicolas Sarkozy. He's got a bit of stubble there. You can see growing a beard, an old picture. Now, he's also on the front page of Le Parisien aujourd'hui. En France, there you can see the headline, Convoqué. Now, what's this to do with? It's to do with a summons he's had. He's been ordered to come for the police as part of an investigation into what's known as the Bettencourt scandal. Now, we've covered that extensively in the past couple of years here on France 24, but that scandal basically relates to whether L'Oréal heiress Liliane Bettencourt gave Nicolas Sarkozy funding at her home here on the outskirts of Paris. And, of course, he has strongly denied that. His arguments are presented in another paper today, Le Figaro, which is saying that his defence centres on the changing nature of statements of those people who say he went to Liliane Bettencourt's home to get money for his 2007 campaign.
Okay, and also the question of how to make France more competitive is making headlines.
Well, that's been covered a lot in the business news, and it's one of the top stories today for the French papers. Les Echos is leading on that. It's to do with this report by the former EADS boss and the former French Railways boss, Louis Gallois, who has presented 20 proposals, one of them to reduce hiring costs for bosses. Now, to make France more competitive, it's suggested in Les Echos today that the government will nod to him and accept a compromise, which would be to finance a €20 billion package over 3 years to make hiring easier for companies, so that Les Echos sort of going before the actual announcement today. And Le Figaro too is looking at that on its front page, saying that this whole issue of competitiveness is a huge problem for the socialists, with union strife possibly in the pipeline.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Nick Rushworth with our press review.